2 minutes.
Okie dokie. All right, I'm on here a little early today, back from my trip to San Antonio, Texas. I actually have up the side my peak retreat, San Antonio 2024. So sporting that for the people on the radio, they won't be able to see that, but I'll show my Facebook family. So yeah, what a week. Holy hell. A lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to touch upon a few things and tell you a little bit about Tejas and the Alamo, and we're going to go from there. So it was light out driving here. I think it was nice, right?
With the sun right, or wait, hold on. No, that would be going west. So the sun was behind you.
It's all right though, because it was bright out. Hi. It was bright out and the sky looked really good. 39 days till spring.
And so the names are lovely. I want the weather. Today was really nice.
It was nice.
And we have 40 seconds. I didn't even realize.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well,
I know.
listen, I haven't seen you. We don't talk. You don't write. No, I'm kidding. It's okay. All right.
30 seconds.
I guess I should put my headset on, huh?
If you want.
All right. It's time to roll. There was when 10.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
Hello and good afternoon. I hope you are all doing well. We made it to Friday. This was quite the week. There is so much to discuss. But I want to thank you for tuning in today. You are listening to the Financial Chick Show, and I am the Financial Chick. My name is Denise Nostrom, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service independent financial planning firm located in Medford. I'm here live every Friday at 5:30 p.m. on 103.9 LI News Radio. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. If you want to know more about me or my firm, you can check out my website at financialchickshow.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram at Diversified Financial Solutions, so like our pages to get updates and see what is happening. So it was, well, before I start, I just want to, shortly before coming to the show today, I was speaking to the daughter of a client, and I just heard that one of my clients lost their fight with cancer. So Jim Pizzo, I hope you rest in peace. I'm just glad you're no longer in pain, and I'm also glad that I got to speak to you a couple weeks ago. So who knew that it would be the end? So just very sad. He leaves a girlfriend that he's been taking care of that was diagnosed with dementia a couple years ago. Now the girlfriend's family needs to find 24-hour aides. They were kind of helping each other. So there's just so many sad stories. Being a financial advisor, you become part of the family and the story in many cases. It's a beautiful career, but it can be challenging too because you get involved and you tend to really get very close to people, and it's very challenging, to have that take place. But anyway, well, I guess on a brighter note, coming here today, it was fantastic. The light was still light out. I'm not going to say it was full on sun, but the sky looked great, and it is dark now, but it was so great to see the sun. And yes, it's 39 days until spring. But it is really interesting. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but we're having just a weird winter here, in the fact that my bulbs, like for tulips and all that, they're already up. Like, they're coming up in front of my office right now. So it's just crazy. So, and that was like in January. We're into February now, but it was January when I saw them. So I don't know, it's crazy. But I am back here at the airport yet again. I was here last night. I just got back from being in San Antonio, Texas from Monday. So I was out of the office all week, but I was back today. But I was honored to be invited to my broker dealers partners retreat, which again was in San Antonio, Texas. It is an opportunity to meet with the owners of Peak Brokerage Services, along with a handful of top producers from all over the country. So the partners, it's great. All the top producers, they value our input and want to know what's working with the company and to help us work with our clients, but what also can be improved. So whether it be technology or product line or just support, and I'm really, really blessed that I have colleagues all over the country that are just willing to help, and we all work together. So if there's anything that a client needs that maybe I'm not too aware of, I know I have somebody that can help. We have Social Security specialists, we have college specialists, we have just a whole plethora of people, to talk about, and actually a bunch of us. I have two guys up in Buffalo that have a radio show, which I'm trying to get them. They're going to come on my show. I have another guy in Ohio who has a radio show. So we talk radio shows when we're there too. So that's kind of neat, to see the different parts of the country, how the radio world is different or the same. So it's pretty neat. But so we also got a chance to discuss any client issues. Again, coming from all over the country, we like to get an input as to what's going on in Texas, what's going on in Florida, what's going on in Kentucky. I mean, basically we had a lot of states represented there. So it was a jam-packed 4 days. We had a great time, and we were able to visit the Alamo and take a cruise on the Riverwalk. If you're ever in the area, you have to stay or at least visit. It's called Hotel Emma, E-M-M-A. It's located in downtown historic Pearl District. It was originally Pearl's Brew House, and it's a landmark. And there's still a brewery there, but you can see that the hotel was really preserved and try to keep that authentic feel. And it was interesting because it was the only San Antonio brewery that survived Prohibition, thanks to a woman. Just saying, her name was Emma Kohler, and she had astute leadership that basically got them through the tough times of Prohibition. And I believe that was the first. They were closed, with the quotes, the air quotes. But as soon as Prohibition was lifted, boom, they were ready to roll. So interesting. But so much history, and the hotel was absolutely beautiful, and they spared no expense to renovate this hotel. And it was great, just a great experience. A little chilly down there too. It's a little bit interesting, but a lot of Tex-Mex food and just a lot of real good stuff. So I feel recharged, refreshed. Sometimes you have to get out and see other things, and you get too close to your own world, and so it's a good thing. And very interesting statistic, because I love statistics. So they're saying that, and this is as per CNN from January 20th, that while the cost of living is hitting everyday costs hard, the price of plane tickets is at a 15-year low in the United States. So that's at least one thing that's good. The average airfare is near 25% less than it was pre-pandemic, and in fact, it hasn't been this cheap since 2009. So I'm just saying, if there's places, as a financial advisor, obviously it's important to save some money, but it's all about balance, because you never know, right? I started the show off with not such a good story, but you never know when things are going to go. So you really need to enjoy yourself. Again, spend some, save some, and invest some. That's really what you need to do. And the tickets are cheap. And I have to give a shout out to Southwest. We always hear the horrible stories on the news and everything like that. every one of my flights, I do have connecting flights. It's in a world of, there's no non-connecting flights now. It's just basically direct flights are a thing of the past. But had no problems going down to San Antonio, no problems coming up. Everything was great. And I love that MacArthur is so close and it's such a nice jewel here in our area. So props to MacArthur Airport too. But, so the news this week, gosh, I was trying to keep in touch and be at the meetings and do the things we do, but try to keep on top of what's going on. But it was pretty busy this week. I guess the good news, the stock market has been on a tear, and the S&P 500 closed above 5,000 for the first time ever. So to some that may mean something, to others it may not mean anything. But the fact that we're hitting all-time highs it's exciting, but also kind of scary in a way. The S&P 500, Dow Jones, and NASDAQ, which are all U.S. or domestic indices, have rallied for 5 weeks straight. So, we've had some down days or whatever, but for the majority of the past 5 weeks, the markets have been great. So, take it while we got it, right? But the Russell 2000, international stocks, and emerging markets have all been down year to date thus far. The bond market has also not had such a great year this year so far, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that rates may not be coming down at this point. The jobs numbers came in good, the market's been doing well, the economy overall has been doing well. It's really like a mixed bag, and I'll tell you a little story later on in the show, but it just doesn't seem that rates are going to be coming down. So the bonds, we're hoping for that. So it's kind of like a seesaw when you have a bond. When rates are low, bond values are high. When rates are high, which they are right now, bond values are low. So as soon as we start reducing those rates, those bond values are going to pop up. So for people that are in bonds or conservative, it's been a rough couple of years for you guys, and but there could be hope around the corner. But it's always a balance with that too. We talk about balance of life, but balance of investments. Don't be too conservative, because the things that you think are super conservative, we have pockets of time where they're not, and so bonds have definitely underpaced the stock market. It's all been stock market, and again, that could change on a dime as well, but balance, make sure you have a little bit of everything, and that's what we need to do. So, most of the news, of course, is surrounded about the immigrant issue and the presidential election. So, yeah, I'm probably gonna wait till the second half of the show, but man, it has been a lot of interesting things. It just seems that we've gone beyond the realm of reality lately, and this obviously we're talking financial, but we got to talk about the whole outer covering of society too, because everything is interrelated and everything does matter. And it's going to be interesting. And then, actually, this was by Bill Gates, believe it or not, but he says headlines, in a way, are what mislead you, because bad news is a headline, but the gradual improvement is not. So, it's just one of those things, too, where the news reports something and then they retract it, but you never really hear that retraction. So what do you remember? The bad stuff. So you gotta be careful and research and kind of take a look at things. So we are running to the break, but I am going to talk a little bit about what the heck is going on in the world of politics and immigration and all of that, and see how we can unpack all of this. So you're listening to The Financial Chick Show. I'm the Financial Chick, Denise Nostrom, the company's Diversified Financial Solutions. I help you look for financial solutions when you feel like there are none. Stay tuned after the break. What a week. Have you been tuned in to all the stuff that's happening?
Unfortunately, and there's not much I could say. I let everyone on this station talk for me.
There's
now.
no words. I don't even know.
If you listen to our Long Island Patriots show, I don't think you do, but that's fine. The guy on the show has been speaking my brain the whole time, just talking about enough with the humane efforts in trying to handle immigrants. Like, we should stop trying to be humane and everything, and that's basically how I feel right now. That sums everything up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's hard because it's just it's out of control, and no one can say it's not. It's pretty crystal clear. I feel like voting is not enough. I don't think maybe it'll count, but I don't think it's enough for me to just vote. I want to just beat the shit out of all these people. All right, no violence. Actually, it's warranted now. We have 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, no, it's frustrating all around. It really is. I know.
I'm just reading history stuff now because that's my major. So.
I know. When I went to the Alamo, I'm like, man, I should know more about history. I felt like I didn't really know a lot.
I don't know.
But I learned a lot.
I don't know much about the Alamo myself. It doesn't really cross my mind that
Davy
much.
Crockett. That's all you need to know.
I've heard the name. You're lucky you were there. Honestly, it was probably fun there.
What's that?
You're lucky you were there. We have 20 seconds, but I'm just saying you were lucky you were there. You just got to get away from New York.
Just a little bit. It was good.
Yeah.
I needed it
Probably good
for everything.
food,
My
too.
brain.
10 seconds.
Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the Financial Chick. My company's in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all those changes. So, like I said, I'm fresh off the plane last night from San Antonio, Texas, where I visited the Alamo and Riverwalk. I got a cruise. I don't even know if I said that before. A cruise on the Riverwalk, and that was really awesome. So San Antonio is a really, really interesting city. If you get a chance to visit it, it's really cool. It's a great place to be. And there was one thing too, just with the Alamo, as I mentioned before. Phil Collins, something I didn't realize, he was a big Alamo guy. He collected a bunch of nostalgic pieces and bought a lot of things. He just had, and he's from England, right? So, but he had such a passion for the Alamo. So they've actually erected a museum of all of the memorabilia, which most of it is his. I mean, there's some other people, but just to walk through that museum was really, really neat. And like in the back of the museum, they have him orating the stories of how the battle went down, and it's just very, very interesting stuff. So history's cool. We shouldn't erase it because it makes us who we are, right? Absolutely. So, like I said before, we seem to have gone beyond the realm of reality. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'll just start with there's 346 days until Biden is gone, but will he make it? I don't know. You know, it came out this week. I mean, I don't know, just the world has gone so sick. Anyway, so documents were taken by Trump when he was president, after he left. Documents were taken by Biden when he was a senator, which senators shouldn't take documents. So apparently the case with Biden was addressed this week, and the prosecutor basically said, you know, he's just an old man and he can't remember things, and they're just not going to prosecute him. However, Donald Trump was indicted for this similar thing, and they were showing pictures that, you know, Trump had them like under lock and key. It was actually he seems to be a very clean person, very organized. And then they showed the Biden documents, and there was some in the car. There was papers flying out. It was like in his garage. But the point of it is that, one, he was a senator, shouldn't have had the documents. As a senator, you can't take documents. But you know, the interesting, I guess, outcome of that, you know, taking of the documents, for lack of a better way, is that he said that he was an old man and he can't remember things. But now, I guess we'll say, what would Jesus do, right? If we had a grandparent, or if we had a parent that just couldn't remember things, we probably would take their keys away, or we would make some arrangements, or at least address the situation. We're not addressing the situation in the U.S. Is it just me, or am I the only one not realize like what's happening? It just doesn't I just don't understand it. So apparently Biden, you know, is just still going to do what he does. Now I understand there's a lot of issues with that, because again, if he doesn't do what he does, then we've got Kamala Harris. I'm not sure if that's such a good idea. But even when all this started, I mean, with him running, and you know, he knew you could tell he was not doing so well for the past 3 years. And his wife, I guess she's just like, you know, drunk with you know, control, in that, I mean, it's almost like elder abuse. It really is kind of sad. So it must be something, a weekend at Joe's. It must be a really interesting thing. The son's doing his drugs, and he's banging into walls and falling. It just must be a mess. I'm just saying that, you know, this is the most powerful country in the world, and we have a leader that has been deemed to be older and can't remember things, but he's running the country. But is he? Now that, I mean, I think it's been pretty clear, but I think it's even clearer now that Biden is not running the country. So who is? It's really a big question, you know. Could it be Obama? Could it be the Clintons? It's interesting because we haven't seen her in a while, but Hill's back and she's doing a lot of TV and interviews and stuff like that. So interesting. You know, there's just definitely a pack or a regime that's in control right now. And I guess we just all sit and we all just don't know what's going to happen next, really. And it's kind of a sad type of thing because someone needs to run the country. And I don't know. We're not running into the ground either. But and then what else happened? The Vegas primary, very, very interesting. I have a friend of mine out in Vegas that is caucusing out there. So very, very cool stuff to hear things right from the battleground. But Nikki Haley got 33% of the votes, and over 60% of the people voted for a candidate that's not on the ballot. So I don't know. Maybe it's time for her to move on. I mean, that's, you know, she's hasn't really fared well in the past couple of, you know, elections or primaries or whatever the case may be. So we'll be very interesting to see how that's going to. But again, he wasn't on the ballot, Donald Trump. Colorado now, of course, is trying to now put him on the ballot as well. Now, one of the things, I guess, you know, we're setting a precedent here, and the precedent is that, you know, it's kind of like elementary school games, right? You know, I'm going to set this rule that, you know, you can't step on the cracks in the hallway, and then, you know, then, like, let's say the boys are in control one day, and then the next day the girls are in control, and the boys like, well, no, that's not going to happen. So it's back and forth. So we're going to, you know, take people off the ballot, but when it goes on the other side, that the other side has control, what's going to happen then? So it's a vicious game. That's why we have a constitution. There's rules. You know, just like when you go bowling and you have the bumpers, you got to have bumpers because you can't just have chaos. Because without rules and regulations, there's chaos. And basically, that's what's happening right now. You know, and then not to mention, you know, all of the immigrant situation and New York City and the money and there's gift cards. They want to give gift cards to them now, and on the top of them putting into hotels, and you know, something's got to give. You know, I don't think anybody wants to hurt people or do things, but the bottom line is that, you know, we're not going to storm into any country and ask for things and ask for, because they would just kick us out, or maybe they kill us. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get the same treatment if you go anywhere else. So there's got to be some resolution. So hopefully somebody, you know, it gets it right. But I talked before about the fact that, you know, jobs are doing well, whatever, but I'm going to tell you that probably 3 or 4 clients since January have lost their jobs. And we're seeing that mostly in the healthcare and technology arena, or industries, I should say. And so it is a mixed bag. You know, we hear different reports, but sometimes you got to go to ground zero where you live and get the pulse of the market here. And again, from my little pulse or my little world, that's what's happening with that. But it was very interesting. So there was one woman, and she was on my show several years ago. She had a situation, always had a very good job, and you know, so the job loss, well, it was bittersweet for her. She was sad because she had a great position and a great income, but she was over it, and she was like really, really happy. So she's getting some severance and stuff like that. But years ago, she came on my show because when we had first met, before she became a client, she had a lot of debt. And a lot of it was, you know, psychological, and, you know, she had to work through a bunch of things, but we got her through from all the debt, no debt, just she left with her mortgage. And she even came here, she was actually in tears, and so it was great, though, to be able to, you know, take somebody from 0 to 100 and really make it happen. But moreover, what she did was she not only invested, and she was a great saver from the retirement side, but she didn't really have anything else. No cash reserve, she didn't have any investment assets. I always create silos. You do cash reserve, you have investments, non-retirement, and then your retirement. And she didn't have those 2 other silos. Like she was one accident or emergency away from bankruptcy, right? But that's why she got all the credit card debt. But she started to save money and built up her cash reserve, but she also built up an investment portfolio. So this is what happens in the investment world, right? Or in the financial planning world. She is now not sad that she's downsized. She's actually leaving for Dubai on Wednesday, and she's traveling. She's going to be back for a couple weeks, and then she's going to Thailand. So she's doing things that she wants to do, but you know why? She wouldn't be able to take her retirement assets because she's not of a certain age, but she put this investment money, and she's such a good retirement saver. She's balanced out her future with my help, and she's going to make it happen. So again, this is what we do here. This is what we do to help people. So it's just a matter of, what I love what I do is everybody's got a different situation. So it's not you go to a lot of these advisors and they're going to give you a fee-based business, fee-based, and throw everything in there and that's it. But we do true planning to kind of help you do these things that if you do lose your job, it's not as devastating as it could be. It's still sad, but she's awesome and she's going to get another job. So that's what we got going on. So I think next week is Valentine's Day, right? So I'll wish a happy Valentine's Day a little early. I like the color red, and Valentine's Day is cool, you know? But I want to thank you all for tuning in. And remember, let's all try to do better and be better. I know it's rough out there and the world is crazy, but just talk to people, get that support you need, and we'll make it through. So take care for now, and I look forward to being with you again next Friday. All right, and that's a wrap. I hope you are all doing well out there, and I want to thank you for taking the time to check in and see what's going on. So enjoy, and like I said, I probably won't see you, so happy Valentine's Day, and we'll be all together next Friday again. Bye.